Thanks very much to Jess, Phoebe, Alessandra and Jamie for their insights around life during COVID. Now is the time for us to take the employer perspective. So I'm delighted to have Danny, Emma and Bina with us today to chat about what can be done to help Generation COVID take that first step in their career with confidence. So let's start off with some intros. Over to you.
So hi everyone, my name's Bina Atherley and I work for a company called Atkins. So for those of you who may not know who Atkins are, we're a world leading design, engineering and project management consultancy. So we're very much in the heart of sort of looking at all the sort of buildings and structures out there, and really delighted to sort of be here today to hopefully answer some key questions that you've all got.
Good stuff. And Emma?
Hi everybody, my name's Emma Wood. I'm a talent acquisition partner at AstraZeneca, and hopefully most people know who AstraZeneca is now, given the situation that we currently face with COVID and the vaccine. And I've worked for AstraZeneca for the last 7 years, and my role is to support the recruitment of our UK apprenticeship programmes.
Okay, excellent. Last but not least, Danny, you do a quick intro.
Thank you. Yeah, Danny Matthews. I work for the Co-op, also known as the Cooperative Group, one of the largest retailers in the UK and the largest provider of funerals across the UK as well. And my role over the past 3 years now at the Co-op has been to lead on early careers recruitment and also community recruitment as well across all of our business areas and across all of the UK. So
now let's have a chat about what your organisations are doing to, going back to the topic, helping Generation COVID take that first step in their career with confidence. So who wants to start off with sharing a bit about what you're up to?
I don't mind. So I guess in terms of what we're doing to support, I think first and foremost is having a good level of transparency. So letting them know that we're here, letting them know that we are recruiting. I mean, through lockdown, we didn't stop recruiting. We actually continued. We changed the way that we recruited in terms of doing everything virtually. But I think it's just sort of getting the word out there ultimately to let them know that we're here and we're there to support, or we're here to support, I should say. We've recently on our website added a chat function which allows people to not only just express their interest, but it allows them to talk to current graduates and apprentices, and it allows them to ask some key questions that they're not going to get straight away from just looking at the website or just doing an application form. It allows them to ask sort of set questions then to help them make those informative decisions. And we found that worked really, really well through COVID, and it's something we're probably going to continue to do so.
That's good. So it's, people can actually go in there with not really knowing what they want to ask. They don't have to be focused on a particular area of the career site, but can just go straight into there and go, right, let's kind of guide myself to maybe get the answers. I'm not sure I'm not sure what they are. Okay.
It's allowing that early element of engagement before they even sort of do the application form. And I think that's quite important. That's quite key.
Yeah, for sure. And Danny, what are you any stuff that you guys are up to that think you're doing its bit to help Generation COVID?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things. I think from a kind of a recruitment point of view, obviously to Bina's point, we have been recruiting throughout COVID in a number of different areas of our business in a number of different geographies. So we've continued that. We've obviously pivoted our assessments online, which has been really helpful in terms of whilst access to digital technology still remains a concern. It has allowed us to reach more diverse talent, removing the need for someone to travel to Manchester, for argument's sake, for an interview, or into Bristol for our legal services apprenticeships this year. I suppose more broader than that, though. So we've invested in an employability platform, which we've offered out to young people for free, which includes technology such as artificial intelligence interview simulators, artificial intelligence CV checkers, employability skills content. So we've kind of recognised that as an organisation as a whole, not just from an early careers point of view, I mean, we had a huge number of applications. I'm sure that's probably reflected with the other two organisations on the call today. We were at risk of becoming a mass rejecter rather than an employer as such. So we were really mindful of leaving people with just we appreciate your application, but thanks, but no thanks, and actually offered that out free to candidates. And we've put some wraparound support for those particularly younger individuals who are engaging with that tool to give them some real direction as to what content assets and kind of technology in this platform should they be looking to use to put them in the best position to apply for jobs. We've also invested in careers content, so we're kind of in the process of finishing up a careers offer for secondary and sixth form schools across each one of the year groups. And last year we piloted virtual work experience for the first time, which is a bit of a leap of faith for Co-op. For our business areas, that worked really well, and this year we're day 4 into our biggest ever programme. We've got about 2,000 to 2,500 young people on virtual work experience happening over the next 5 weeks, with not just Co-op but also suppliers involved as well. So yeah, and there's loads of other things, Kickstart being another, etc. But we could be on the call all day about stuff like that. So yeah, quite a lot I think is probably the answer in a nutshell. But there's still a lot more that we all I think need to do.
There's a big thing about being a utility for the people that you might hire or you might not end up hiring. I really like that. Really like that approach. And Emma, what's happening at AstraZeneca? What kind of things are you doing?
Yeah, we've sort of put a bit of focus on our work experience options because we were certainly lacking in that space. So we're currently developing a work experience programme, which will be a lot wider than it is currently and a lot more inclusive. And we're just going into pilot stage at the moment. So it's difficult to give you any more information than that because we want to do the pilot first and see how it works. So that's sort of where we've put our energies, if you like.
That's really interesting though you say that about piloting. I think that's a really nice way of doing it, because I think sometimes organisations and individuals can go, right, we need to know all the answers. It needs to be absolutely perfect. Of course we want it to be a good experience, but I think that piloting approach is good, which means actually any organisation, however big or small they are, can start with something. I think that's really important. Otherwise, you'd never end up doing anything differently, would you? So let's look at maybe a bit further into the future. If we look in say 3 to 5 years' time, what kind of ideas you think, or what kind of approaches you think are going to be, worth looking at to kind of push the dial a bit more and really make sure that, come later on in this decade that things have moved a lot in the way that employers are helping Generation COVID?
I was just going to say about, I guess, working with local schools to try and help, with perhaps CV writing or interview skills, those softer skills that we've already talked about. That's sort of, I think, what we will potentially think about doing. And I know that we'd already thought about it before COVID, anyway, to work with our local schools in the 2 locations where we put our apprentices. So I think that's probably where we would put some emphasis, I guess. Yeah,
nice. And that ties into actually being talking about maybe doing similar things as well. That's good. Okay.
I think the only other thing I would throw in there as well is for employers to this is going to sound like a very Co-op thing to say now, but to genuinely cooperate. Because one thing that I definitely felt like worked really well last year, when we were all in the same boat together, irrespective of brand, irrespective of budget, and we were all trying to face into the same challenges, was that we achieved some amazing things as a group of employers. And I think it's just keeping that in our minds as well, that when we do actually cooperate and work together and use our assets, some of the, even on this call, some of the largest global and UK based organisations, using our assets together will have a bigger impact for that audience group, rather than sometimes, and we're all probably guilty of it, is you look only within your own organisation or even within your own sector as well, And I don't, I definitely don't have the answers to that, but it's something I think as employers we could explore a little bit more for certain.
Definitely different perspectives, shared experiences. All of that comes together into doing things differently. Bina, anything to add?
Well, I mean, just whatever Emma and Danny have said there is spot on, to be honest. I think it is important for us to not forget about these individuals. I mean, it's how we measure that, how we manage that, that's going to be for us as employers to kind of look at. It's not something that, I mean, I personally don't have the answer to how we would do that, but I don't think anyone does, to be honest. And I think it's just what you said, Danny, it's cooperating and working together and sharing those thoughts and ideas, because it is absolutely important that we don't forget about those individuals. And we want them to kind of, over the next couple of years, to kind of build their confidence back up, know that employers are out there and have got their back and are going to be supporting them in their decisions and choices. I mean, one of the things that we're doing that we haven't been able to do as much as we'd like to is sort of embedding ourselves a little bit more into schools and colleges across the UK and over in Ireland. I mean, there's so many out there, but I think if we as organisations embed ourselves as much as we can, we're still present, we're in the minds of those individuals, we're present and in the minds of those teachers and parents, which again, I think is important.
Absolutely. And actually, I think that thing about coming together, everyone coming together and kind of sharing those thoughts and, coming up with new ideas is it's very much part of what RecFest is about, So I think, thanks very much, Bina, Emma and Danny for taking part. Thanks for Jess and Alessandro and Jamie and Phoebe for getting involved in the student panel. And everyone listening, just get in touch with each of us, get in touch with Not Going to Uni, or just start talking about what can be done, to help Generation COVID, because this is something that isn't just lasting for now, it's something that's going to take us right deep into this decade. Thanks very much, everybody.